So this workout that I'm doing, pretty much a shoulder focused workout. And I just want bigger shoulders vertically and horizontally, right? So mainly, more specifically, what I'm focusing on is my lateral delts and my triceps, right? No front delts, no rear delts. Well, yes, rear delts, but rear delts. I don't know. It's easy to deal with my rear delts. So the issue that I'm running into is, it's a little bit more difficult to hit your lateral delts than it is, other parts of your body. And mainly because, when you're doing specific exercises, other muscles take over, right? Or other muscles fatigue before certain muscles get fatigued. So in this situation, just really trying to dive deep and just really hit my shoulders with volume. Starting with some upright rows. And pro tip, or at least my split with barbells and machines, it's probably like 70-30, 65-35, right? Barbells. And I can already see the comments now coming in, basically speaking about I already seen comments previously, so I don't know. But generally talking about shoulder pain and everything. And especially with what I'm doing, I hear a lot of shoulder pain comments and complaints come from upright rows. But I never heard anybody who've had a shoulder issue say anything about upright rows. Like who's post-shoulder injury or issue saying anything about it. But so yeah, just experimenting. And so the key with this is really just to, not use so much weight. All right, you don't need to be lifting so heavy. And for most, probably for the majority of people can lift the bar, and that'll be enough. But really just being engaged, to avoid those injuries. I'm experimenting, but I'm not, I'm pretty sure I'm not gonna get injured. I'm not injured. And this is me post, me doing a voiceover is me post video. So I didn't get hurt. But yeah, just really as far as with the whole myth and everything behind injuries, just don't go crazy. Give yourself a recovery. You want to definitely do a strict form. The form is not just for like development, but it's also for safety. You don't want to overcompensate and hurt something else that's not supposed to even be lifted, or in the lifting motion, the movement that you're doing. So just staying, in tune with your body, and give yourself some time to recover in between your workouts. So right now, for me, that's the season of I'm changing up the routine slightly, as far as just when let's say I forget where I left off on my workout, like what I did last or whatever the case is. I don't know, for whatever reason. Well, I'm not even gonna say that. I'm just gonna say I'm overloading on shoulders. So I'm doing shoulders more, but not saying like, oh, I'm doing shoulders 2 times back to back. Just saying I'm doing them more so than focusing on them more so than other exercises. Because I want those to grow, right? Come winter, come the end of summer, I want, come fall, I'll probably do something different. Maybe it'd be like my abs or something. And really, I'm doing this whole thing, mindset coming into this day really was because I wasn't feeling, the sensation of growth in my shoulders. How I would feel for other workouts, like when you're doing chest or arms or legs or stuff like that. I wasn't feeling that in my shoulders. I need my shoulders to be damn near, I need to feel the fatigue in them. But yeah, it's tough. And you see, like, really with the barbell, I'm just able to kind of transition over. I was doing upright rows. Now I'm doing behind the back press. Just a couple swaps. And key, with doing most of these workouts, especially with doing barbell workouts, where you gotta, exert a little bit more effort than machines to stabilize. You want to rest. You want to get a good rest in between. At least that's what I'm doing, right? It's because I need it. And also some cold water too. So definitely ice up, whatever the water you got. You're going to need that to recover. And this is going to help you avoid injury because you're not going to be so tired, fatigued and overcompensating, fatigue muscles not working and you overcompensating using other muscles, right? And also, this just happened to be one of those days I had a lot of energy too. So I'm doing more sets per se, or, than normal. And your grip too. So with your overhead press, your grip is important. Make sure you got a solid grip. It's pretty much everything, but make sure you got a solid grip. Make sure your hands a little bit, maybe like kind of beneath your arms, right? Like if you was to put them side to the side of you, 90-degree angle, hands straight up, right? That's just my pro tip for doing overhead press. No injuries. My shoulders don't hurt. Like, they don't. I'm not injured. I don't know. And granted, too, I do a lot of stability workouts. So I use the band. That's what I really warm up with all the time. As far as my upper body, my back, my chest, my shoulders, and everything, I use a band. I put that tension and I hold. So just saying, maybe because me doing that as well, priming my shoulders, maybe over time, that just made my, stability muscles in my shoulder area just really strong. They're not weak. So I'm not having any type of shoulder issues doing this routine. And like I said, I'm really doing more so really just trying to I'm trying to find that zone, you know, appropriate zone for my shoulders. And look, that smooth transition. So I went from an upright rows, overhead press to behind the back, right? All shoulder area. And my thought process with the overhead press behind the neck, I feel like maybe it's emphasizing more of the lateral delts and just more so, to me, more so less of the front delts. Yeah. And like me, like pretty much everybody, maybe like 80-90% of the people in the world who fitness are fitness oriented. I'm not lifting to compete or nothing like that. But I'm not lifting to compete. So, and like the majority of the people out there, they're not lifting to compete. And I think a lot of the times, like that, the messages are coming from people who are competing, right? And they're going to people who aren't competing, The end goal for those two individuals are different. So I'm trying to look, at least for me working out, I enjoy it first off, like, right? I enjoy it. I feel like humans need physical activities. They need to be challenging themselves physically. So I enjoy it from that aspect. And I want to be, so that's why I do it. And I want to be aesthetically. I want to look good aesthetically. And also, I like the way it make me feel. Right? I like being strong. So just saying that, like, my goals aren't that of a Sam Sulek or, whoever else was out there. And that's pretty much everybody else's goals. I mean, that's a message in there. You gotta find it, though. Really just saying that because just be careful of who you're receiving your information from, right? Just take that into context, that individual's goals and what they're doing. All right. It's no rush. If you made the commitment to go to the gym and you made that a part of your schedule and your life, not just your schedule, your life, then, what you rushing for? You're not competing. You don't have competition in 2 months or 2 weeks or something. At some point, you're going to get where you need to get. Right? Consistency and longevity, right? Longevity is key. The information that a lot of people are receiving is not going to lead them to longevity. They receiving information to compete in 2 months, 2 weeks, right? So, and this coming from somebody who, who competed. Like more so not, let's not say, well, I'm a competitive person, so I can say that, but I'm saying like, who like life, whose fitness, whatever, started, who's like ingrained, whose fitness lifestyle is ingrained in his life since a specific age. I'm talking about me, right? Since like 7 years old, I've been in organized sports, competing, trying to be the best. Losing, winning, losing, actually competing against another human being. Some of these individuals who are here giving this advice they done just started this fitness thing. They just started competing against anybody. Late teens, early 20s. Right? They don't have that real life experience. You can definitely just see me trying to feel it out, Trying to go to failure on these. All right, just feeling out, show, what I'm doing, like just feeling out my body, seeing what's going on, staying in tune. And that's key. That's one of the major keys. Like, what is your body telling you right now? Some people can't even tell you that. Some people don't know. Right? Their mind is not connecting to their body. They just know, like, okay, I seen this in a video. Like the person that's trying to teach people seen that shit in a video, but they don't really they're not at the root yet. They're not at the ground level yet. They starting at somewhere. They don't understand why they there. As far as with these right here, definitely want to go up above your head. So yeah, start from your side and go up at an arc. Like, so basically like making a rainbow around your whole body, right? That's what I should have done. But kind of like slightly forward though. And then squeeze. And my weight should have been a little bit lighter. Maybe like 10s, 15s, 10s. I got better videos that I dropped that's just going to show you a better technique for what I'm trying to do right here. But I just want, I think I want y'all to pick up a couple of key things, real life things, That's why I kind of didn't cut it too much. I don't see what's the point. It just kind of paint this facade. It's like a gray zone. People don't know what you're doing in between cuts. It's good for certain stuff, but not everything. Really just trying to show you the volume of like how much work that I'm trying to do for that area. And you know, the capabilities, the limits. And of course, you don't know the background. Like, you don't know me health-wise, you know, what I do, what I eat, how I drink, whatever the case is, my injury, you know, prior injuries, whatever the case I got, whatever I got going on. You don't know these things, like how I stretch, what I do on a regular basis. So certain stuff may not. You know, you might not get certain things, but at least you get to see, like, okay, this volume may be necessary, right? Comparable, whatever the case may be. And that's educational in itself, seeing somebody else go through it, you know, and grind it out, figure out, you know, perfecting it. And there's a lot of stuff I left out of here too. Like maybe probably like not a lot of stuff, but I would definitely say like 10 minutes. No, maybe like 30 minutes. Cause I also did my arms. So I was doing like bicep curls and stuff. Forearm curls. So I maybe left like 30 minutes out of here. But talking about volume, I had time. You know, I typically don't be spending that much time in the gym like this. I think this wasn't that much time. I think this was like honestly 30, 40 minutes. But I was just straight, you know, no bullshit. I didn't even got my phone. Like, look at me. I don't know. No BS. Just kind of like lift, rest, drink, repeat. Stretch, feel my body, look around, repeat. That's it. You know? But, like, just really, you gotta really be in tune, bro. You know, people kind of like give you this kind of, or at least this perception that working out is just like a bonehead thing. Like, bro, you don't have to have a dumbbell or a kettlebell for a brain. You know what I mean? And really, it's not that hard. It's really about just experience. It's really getting out there and understanding your body and understanding, you know, not being ignorant to certain stuff. No BS, no, you know. Maybe I should have drunk more water in this video, right? I don't know how much water I drank, but maybe I should have drunk a little bit more.